Hello, everyone, and welcome. Lewis here with The Hit Life, where we bring you news, interviews, and more from all your favorite Southeast regional MMA promotions. Today, we're going to get to know Kahlil McKinnie. Kahlil came out to his amateur MMA debut at Combat Quest 22 and defeated his opponent with a rear naked choke in a little over 30 seconds. Hello, Kahlil. Welcome to The Hit Life.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So you were born in South Florida and now you reside in Bradenton. Was the area that you grew up in rough?
Yeah, I grew up all over the place. That's why I said we traveled a lot, man. I moved about every 2 or 3 years. It wasn't until about 2008 where we kind of got stable, where I stayed somewhere for about 3, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Bradenton is the first place where I've been here for about 6 years, as long as I lived anywhere in my life.
When you were young, were you a fighter? Did you get into fights?
Yes and no. So, like I said, we grew up pretty rough. We always fought, we played around, but I kind of had a lot of respect where I never really, had a fight on the streets. But we were boys, very wild. Especially when I was in Hawaii, that's where I really started fighting a lot. Me and my friends and stuff, we would do stupid stuff. We would go we'd call 41. We'd go 41 seconds and we'd just fight. And I would go and take two people on at the same time, one hand behind my back. And I just always loved fighting, but never like anything like serious. I kind of always had that respect and I was always cool and laid back. So nobody really kind of went to that point.
Were you involved in any other sports when you were younger?
Any sport you can think of, I played football, basketball, track, wrestling. I even danced.
When did you start combat sports?
So me and my uncles and everything were a big part of my life. Pretty much helped raise me and stuff like that. So they always like rest around and play with us. But I guess when I moved to Hawaii in about 2008, everybody fought. Like if you go to Hawaii, every street fight looks like an MMA fight. So friends and stuff like that would kind of start learning and kind of sparring with them, and nothing official. Like I've only been training MMA for about 2 years, but like I have friends and everything would train, and like I would kind of just hop in and stuff with them. So it was nothing official, but essentially been training since 2008.
Okay. At what point did you decide you wanted to try amateur fighting?
So back in 2009, I wanted to do it, and I asked my stepdad and them kind of if we can do it, and I got told no. So I never kind of got to do it, and something I never got to pursue. And crazy story is, when COVID hit and all that, I had my music production business and all that. Kind of got overweight, got to like 230 and stuff. And I decided, I was like, you know what? I kind of lost who I was. I wanted to refine myself. I dropped 60 pounds. And like, I'm gonna take a fight, one fight, win or lose, just to prove to myself that I could have did it, and I could kind of chase that dream. And I dropped the weight. I got to fight. I'm back into healthy shape and realized I'm really good at it. So now it's like, okay, do I want to stick with one fight or what's next? So that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out now.
So that was when you started kickboxing, right?
Yeah. Well, see, I actually did jujitsu. All my striking is self-trained. I did jujitsu from Gracie Bradenton. I went from white to purple belt in about a year and a half.
Okay. I know that right now you're in between gyms. So did you have a problem with the gym, or what's the story behind that?
It's a long story. I'm not gonna get too into it, but
Okay.
honestly, I have no ill will or anything towards the gym. Like that place will always still be home for me. Just based off what I needed for my career, wherever I was going, it just made the most sense for me to move on. But that
Sure.
place will always be a special part of my heart.
Okay. So yeah, this is a shout out to any gyms that's looking for someone in the super welterweight range. Kahlil McKinnie is available.
I've got a couple of
Reach
offers
out.
for people to go train, but they're all like an hour, 2 hours away. So
Sure.
yeah.
So you're in the Bradenton area now. So gyms around there, maybe down in Sarasota or even in South Pinellas, St. Pete. Reach out to Kahlil.
There we go.
So you're a personal trainer also. That's really synergistic with combat sports. How are you using that to help with your training?
I feel like it gives me a really big advantage because I understand how the body works and how the muscles work, and not just muscularly wise, but skeletal wise. Make sure I don't have any muscle imbalances and different things like that. And I'm able to kind of make sure my nutrition's on top. It's like having a personal trainer as an amateur, which most people don't, which gives you that big leg up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And you're also a music producer. I mean, music has been used for centuries in combat, from natives using drums before going into war with other tribes to colonial times. They would use trumpets to rally the troops and coordinate attacks. How do you feel music helps you in your training and matches?
Music is a big part of my life and everything. I feel like music, you know, tells emotion, right? There's songs based off of how you feel and stuff like that, right? And it's funny because I actually use music to help me with my fights. Like I never get nervous and everything, but I like to keep my heart rates down. So while most people are listening to like hip hop or metal or whatever before their fights, I'm listening to smooth, calm music before we go out, and then right before my fight, I'll switch it and kind of flip that switch. But I mean, yeah, music really plays a big part in everything.
Let's talk about your last fight. You made it a fast, easy night, so you're probably ready to go again soon. Do you have an idea when you'll be in the cage again?
Um, Not necessarily. Like I said, I'm trying to figure it out. Like it was supposed to be one MMA fight, one and done. I ended up taking a couple kickboxing fights because I couldn't get an MMA opponent. But like I said, I do love it and it's fun. So right now I got to find a new gym, and
Mm,
once I find a new gym, then from there I can kind of go. I know Vigilant has their next promotion in October, so I'm gonna make sure I'm staying in shape. If I find a gym before then, that's good. Then I should be good. But yeah, me going out and I'm pretty much pulling. My sponsor came out and helped, and I pulled out another guy I met inside the at where I work at. They kind of help corner me and stuff like that. So I mean, like I said, I'm pretty much just running this on my own. So I need
mm.
a real gym before I really try to make that next step and push into it.
Okay. And then the weight class that you're in, 175, is that comfortable for you, or to make that weight, or what?
Yeah, I'm walking around between 175, 180. So where I kind of stay in between.
Hmm.
170, I can make that as well. Put a little bit of work in, but I don't like water cutting. I like to try to stay as healthy and as natural as possible. If I wanted to like water cut and go, I could probably get my walk around weight down to like 165 or 170, and then water cut to 155. But that's like if I'm going pro and stuff like that. Right now, I feel strong. I feel explosive, and at my size, I look a lot more solid than these people who are coming in at 175 and 180. So I think it's a good range.
Yeah. Um, okay, let's go on to the next segment. I call this quick hits. I'm going to ask you a fast, fun question. Give me the answer that comes to mind first. If you want to, you can pass. You ready?
Okay.
Favorite cereal?
Free Pebbles,
Favorite movie?
The Last Samurai,
Favorite animal?
Lion all day.
Favorite restaurant?
Ooh, I love food, so that one's hard. Let's go with Poblanos for now. I like Poblanos.
Favorite sport other than combat sports?
Football, hands down.
Would you rather travel back in time or into the future?
Depends on the reason. Um, I've learned to live with my past and my mistakes. So if I was going to the future, I'd need money. Otherwise, I'm wasting some good years. So
Hmm,
I'd say pass.
okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Super speed, flash.
Favorite fighter?
The funny thing is, I actually don't watch MMA fights anymore. I used to all the time, but I coach for the past year and stuff, and I train 6 days a week. The last thing I want to do is go home and watch fights on the weekend.
Your favorite fighter is Kahlil McKinnie. That's the answer.
There we go.
Favorite thing to do when you're not training?
Spend time with my kids.
All right, that's it for quick hits. Uh, you really can't start an amateur career any better than what you did. I can't wait to see what's next. Thanks so much for doing this, Kahlil.
I appreciate you having me, man.
If you enjoyed this interview, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get more.